Welcome back. We've got Kevin Figures, a Sports Desk reporter, in studio with us. Welcome, Kevin.
How you doing, Bonnie? It's great to be here.
Doing all right. We've been covering a lot of prep softball because it's postseason. We've got a lot of really good teams in Torrance. So you went out and you watched the Torrance Tartars. What do you think?
Absolutely. Torrance is they're very, very inspired. They have a lot of seniors on their roster. They know that now is the time to win. They've come close the last couple of years, but they've just fallen short. So they're really determined to win the championship this year. Yeah,
they've definitely come close. They've won actually a couple of Pioneer League titles this year included, but they've always managed a misstep in the semifinal game, the quarterfinal games the last 3 or 4 years. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the Lady Tartars game?
Sure thing, Bonnie. Well, after finishing the regular season on a 5-game winning streak, the Lady Tartars entered the CIF playoffs playing their best softball of the season. And after a dominating victory over Westminster in the first round of the playoffs, Torrance was looking to ride that momentum into their second round matchup against Cabrillo. The Tartars were looking to continue their hot streak and advance in the CIF playoffs as they took on the Conquistadors of Cabrillo. Torrance would struggle offensively in the early innings as Courtney Varela strikes out looking, and then Karina Scott flies out to left field to end a quiet bottom of the first inning for the Tartars. But Torrance's Lauren DeCastro was more than game for this one, as she would strike out 2 of the first 4 batters she faced. However, DeCastro would run into some trouble in the top of the 3rd inning. After getting the first 2 batters out with relative ease, this ball gets rocketed into the outfield for a 2-out triple. But DeCastro says, "Calm down, everyone, I got this," as she strikes out the next batter to end the threat and keep the game scoreless. Karina Scott got the Tartars off to a good start in the bottom of the 4th inning with this single into right field. After consecutive walks by Brittany Helm and Mel Vasquez, Torrance would break the scoreless tie with this RBI groundout from Lauren Alferos, giving the Tartars a 1-0 lead. Freshman Lexi Ponce would add to the lead in a more traditional fashion as she lines this RBI single into right field, giving the Tartars their 2nd run. But Natalie Ayala says, "I can do you one better, Lexi," as she hits this ground ball under the glove of the 3rd baseman, which would score 2 more runs and increase the Torrance lead to 4-0. Lauren DeCastro would face more 2-out adversity in the top of the 5th inning. After retiring the first 2 batters, she gives up a walk and this single, just her 2nd and 3rd base runners of the day. But DeCastro wouldn't get out of this one unscathed, as Cabrillo's Gabriela Palacios hits this bloop single into right field, cutting the Torrance lead to 4-1. But DeCastro would quickly stop the bleeding, notching 1 of her 9 strikeouts here to end the inning. The senior said that she brought her best stuff to the mound for this one.
My rise ball was really effective. Actually, all my pitches were working really well. My curveball was spinning well. They were swinging at my inside pitches, so fouling them off or hitting them and swinging. So everything was working really well. I was feeling really confident at the mound, and knowing my team was backing me up offensively, I felt good.
And DeCastro would get even more help from her offense in the bottom of the 5th, as Karina Scott rockets this ball into center field. And despite the great effort by Kelsey Facina, this one is a solo home run for Scott, who says the team is extra motivated to win it all this year.
I think the last 2 years we fell short of what we thought we should have been, and this year it's all or nothing. We have a bunch of seniors that have been playing together forever, and it's time to win now, where we don't care about anything else.
After Scott's home run put the Tartars up 5-1, Lauren DeCastro shut down the Conquistadors, striking out 3 of the final 6 batters she faced, securing the victory for Torrance as they advance to the next round of the CIF tournament. Coach Don Glavich says that no game or no moment is ever too big for his senior pitcher, who has been a rock for her team her entire career.
You know, I really don't have to tell her too much at all. She knows what to do. She's been in this position before. You know, we've been to the playoffs, 3 years with her, so she knows what has to be done. She doesn't get too far ahead of herself. She just gets out there and does her job.
And that was the Tartars' victory over Cabrillo. They moved on to the next round with another dominating performance against Hesperia. Lauren DeCastro was lights out as she threw a complete game 2-hitter, striking out 6. And freshmen Courtney Varela and Lexi Ponce continued their hot hitting as they each recorded an RBI and had multiple hits for the 3rd consecutive game.
Now, what this looks like, if they both win their semifinal games that are happening this week, they will play the same week in the finals. Kevin, who are you going to call? Is it North or South when they both win their semifinal games and they meet in the final?
I'm liking Torrance. You know, Torrance has played well all season long. They're on that current 8-game winning streak, I believe. North, like you said, is a very gritty team, but getting out there to Torrance, talking to the players, talking to the coach, they seem really determined, really fired up. You know, normally I've covered a lot of games this year, and you'll see the girls out there laughing and joking during warm-ups. There was none of that for Torrance. They were really serious. They were focused. They were determined. They know that this is their year to win. So they're going to be very determined out there. So my pick has to go with Torrance.
So you say Torrance and North, and I did say South. So the games will be Torrance and North, and he picks Torrance. I will remain in the middle. I will say good luck to both of them. And that's all we have for prep softball today. After the break, we'll go to the only prep baseball team left in the mix. Thanks again, Kevin.
No problem, buddy.